All right, leisure activities tier list. Okay.
Okay.
So I've got on my phone, in the notes here. Let's see. A list of activities, and we're going to tier these activities based on. Or I guess this should be heading 1. Title should be leisure activities tier list. S tier. We'll have like an A tier. We'll tier these activities based on how fulfilling it is to get into them. As in, like, you haven't started doing them already, and you want to pursue a new leisure activity. So how worthwhile are you spending your time by pursuing a certain activity? There's no E tier, right?
I guess generally not.
Okay. Alright, so you guys can see this, right? Here's a list.
Yes.
Or I'll change this to games in general, and then we can break it into subcategories.
Okay.
And we'll do that last, because I think we'll have the most to say about that. Starting from the bottom, okay? Bottom. Coding.
What was fulfilling mean? Like it's like entertaining. It's helpful. Cause like I feel like coding it's like it's a good leisure activity because you can like turn it into work and make money off of it. So.
Yeah, but we'll go based on like non-monetary criteria.
Okay.
We'll say like money aside.
Okay.
I think coding is kind of hard to get into if you don't already know how to code.
Yeah.
But
agreed.
if you do, I think it can be just as fulfilling as like being a painter or something like that, or like being an artist. Because it requires a lot of creativity, and you have a great deal of room for expression. Like, you can make all sorts of cool stuff. Really interesting things. Like, I've seen so many creative coding projects, like Sebastian Lagway.
Yeah,
And there's this guy named Inigo Quiles. Have you heard of him, Ryan?
Inigo Montoya?
This guy. He made Shader Toy. You know Shader Toy, right?
Yeah.
He created Shader Toy.
Oh yeah.
And he has so many like really cool like projects where he just write like shaders to make characters and landscapes and stuff like that.
Yeah, that one is pretty famous.
Yeah, it's so sick. I think it's so awesome. I'll put coding in like A tier.
What's the golden standard S tier gonna be then?
Oh, we'll shift it around at the end.
Okay. Yeah, sure. We can put coding.
Or keep it like relative. Coding.
Okay.
Okay, learning a language. Not gonna lie, I'm a language learning hater. I think I would never try to learn a language. I don't think that interests me in the slightest.
I think it's like cool to learn language, to like learn the culture that's associated with the language.
Mm-hmm.
And like I feel like the idea of talking to someone else who like also knows that language could be like fulfilling, engaging, and interesting, especially like in the age of the internet where like you can talk to anyone. Like maybe like you just want to like go like across the world and like talk to some random guy in like Russian or like Chinese.
Yeah, I think
like,
it's more interesting if you have an interest in the culture already.
Yeah. Honestly, not gonna. I kind of agree. Like, not gonna lie. Like, learning language kind of sucks.
Dude, all my weeb friends are trying to learn Japanese.
Sumimasen.
But if you actually try to learn the language, dude, it's torturous. Like, you're just memorizing words and vocabulary and grammar, and it's not fun at all.
Yeah.
It is quite difficult to learn a language.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of activities are like this. The outcome could be cool, but the act of actually doing it is ass. And I think learning a language is one of them. But, you know, you do get some stuff out of it. So I'll put it in C tier.
Okay, sure.
All right.
And then we can rearrange this.
So D is like you get nothing out of it, and
F is like you're actively Okay. Labor, aka like doing your job, like working extra hours and stuff like that. Not because your boss asks you to, but because you're doing it like yourself.
F tier.
I know people actually do this.
F tier.
It depends. Like
F tier.
what kind of like labor are we talking about? Is it like something we enjoy, or is it like something we just kind of like do because we have to?
Yeah, I guess it does depend.
No, I think that if you do extra work, like your work willingly, you're like actually like being a detriment to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're like literally like harming your like prospects as like a person, and that like
Damn.
you're just like
Harsh words. Like,
mm.
I think I wouldn't put it in F tier because we're about to do something that would actually be F tier. But I would definitely think this is whack. If you do your work outside of work, I think there's a difference between like if you're a professional concert violinist and that's your job, and then you enjoy playing violin outside of I guess whatever your scheduled practice hours are. I would count that as like a hobby, even
Yeah.
like not even doing work.
Yeah.
Even if it benefits you on your job.
Yeah.
Wait, so labor would be like labor as in like outside of your work,
Like
a
something
lot
that
of time?
that would I guess like make your employer money.
Yeah, like if you're like a programmer, like you just like take some of your work
to
home
make commits
and then,
on the
like,
code base.
Yeah, and then you
that.
like do your work at home.
And it's not like
with no
making your
one.
own side project as a programmer. It's
yeah,
like it's like actually developing whatever you're working on as a programmer.
yeah.
I guess that's the distinction. I didn't define this very well.
What about something like a scientist and you're just like messing around with like the research and like testing things, like, and they enjoy it.
I mean, I think like if it's like messing around with like some like whatever you're specialized in, and it's not like you're like putting like you're not like running through like the various like experiments for your like research paper to like prove your hypothesis, or like writing stuff, or like writing
Yeah, if
stuff,
it's
or,
like
gathering
your
sources.
work gives you like a list of tasks to do, and by labor I mean like you're doing the things that they're telling you to do, and not like doing things that are tangentially related to your work in your field.
Yeah,
Okay.
What would you put that?
I think it's an F tier. I think you're like actively like detrimenting yourself as a human being.
Maybe D tier.
Yeah, I think D tier.
I feel like you can still get things out of it. It's just not the best leisure.
Okay. I put content recommendation algorithms. By this, I mean like scrolling on Reddit, TikTok, YouTube, like Instagram, those kind of apps. I grouped them all together as one.
Mm-hmm.
This one's pretty bad. As a content recommendation algorithm scrolling enjoyer who's spent I don't know how many countless hours of my life just like scrolling away, I don't think I've gotten very much out of it, to be honest. I will say, it has led me to enjoy my current leisure activities a little more, and it has like showed me some new leisure activities or like new different ideas. So it can sometimes be enriching.
I mean, I don't think it's like an active detriment.
Yeah, I don't think it's active
Like,
detriment.
because like you're just it's basically just a waste of time, basically.
It's pretty neutral. Yeah, it's like waste of time. Yeah, it's equivalent to like doing nothing. I think like it's like sitting there and doing nothing.
Yeah.
Well, Veritasking would disagree, but I think it's equivalent to sitting there and doing nothing. I should actually add that as an item, like nothing. This way we have like a baseline. Where'd you guys put it?
Like what?
No, not even thinking. Just
How is this possible? I don't know.
where'd you put it?
D.
Yeah, sure.
I'm like, that's fine.
Okay. The one above, I just put learning in general. Maybe this is too vague, but this is equivalent to like doing what you would do in school, but on your own time. Like going through like a history textbook, or like watching like a lecture about machine learning.
I mean, I honestly think that like it's not that bad. Like I think it's good. Like
It's definitely good for you.
yeah,
I don't think it's fun to do though.
I think it depends on the subject. Like
Depends on whether you enjoy it. So.
yeah, I mean it's also like, are you learning it to like gain the skill, or are you like learning it for fun? Because like research, or I guess like I mean it's leisure, so I guess it's for fun.
Yeah,
but-
that's leisure.
So I guess it'd be something more intrinsic than extrinsic.
Yeah, it's like
kinda.
stuff that you'd like. Like you're not learning it to pick up a skill for a job or something.
Okay, my take. I think learning history is fun.
I think it's fun too.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I think there's like a lot of like stuff that's like in lecture format that's just like interesting to listen to, and that like if you just like some college like professor like some like online lectures are just like
Yeah, a
interesting.
lot of them are really good. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like interesting to like listen to because they have like interesting ideas about like different topics and stuff.
Especially like really good speakers can really carry a topic for you, even if you don't necessarily think you would be interested in it. But if you have like a good lecturer, then they can like make it interesting for you. I think it's
Yeah, like I'll never do like architecture in my life probably, but like I did like listen to a lot of like Harvard architecture lectures because after I did my city planning course, I got like more interested in it. So I don't think it's a good activity. And,
Is
like,
there there room for like fulfillment and like being creative and expressing yourself and building things and stuff like that? I don't think it necessarily
Honestly,
has to have
no.
that, because I don't think there is room for that. But it's still really good even without that. I think learning stuff is one of the most valuable things you can do with your time.
Yeah, I feel like learning it's like you're like learning more about like the way
world.
your world works.
Yeah, exactly. And that's fulfilling.
Yeah,
Where would you put it? Like A tier.
A tier.
Okay,
Maybe like learning academically.
sure. Next one I put gardening.
I don't have any experience gardening.
Like, as we go up this list, it's gonna get more and more like speculation. So,
Okay.
so just give us your best shot.
I'm sure the idea of like nurturing life over a long period of time is probably fulfilling.
Yeah,
Especially if that life doesn't like talk back or like try to destroy you in any way.
it requires a lot of patience, but I think it's very rewarding in the end.
Yeah. And okay, no, actually I have experience with this because I planted a cherry tree, and like I think like the day like the cherry actually like came out of the tree, and, like you ate the one cherry that came out of it. It was like pretty cool.
How long did it take to grow that tree?
Like few years or something.
And what tier? How fulfilling was that cherry eating? What tier would you put it?
It was pretty neat, I guess.
Like,
I think C.
Okay, yeah. Would you agree, Willie? I mean, I don't think any of us are gardeners.
Yeah.
Maybe I should ask my dad.
Maybe a little low. I do think that it can be quite fulfilling to like spend time, I guess, figuring out like how you should take care of a
Yeah.
plant or thing that you're growing and being
Yeah,
able
I
to.
think it's comparable to like having like an aquarium or like a terrarium where you spend a lot of time researching like soil pH and like seasonal crops and shit like that, and like pesticides and
Mm-hmm.
fertilizer. I don't know. I'm sure if you're into gardening, you can get really into it.
Yeah, to me, I feel like it's more like a not so social kind of thing where you just like explore things on your own and just like spend time focusing on, I guess, the execution of like the gardening. Like you're digging up soil, you're probably
Yeah,
Putting-
if you're like more of an introvert and you have a lot of patience, I think you'd really like gardening as a leisure activity. It would go up on the list.
Mm.
Okay. This next one, I wrote appreciating nature. I don't know what to make of this one.
It's like hiking or like going to a park and like looking at a
Yeah,
tree.
just like gazing out at a vista. You
Yeah.
know, like the romantics, like capital R romantics,
Yeah.
of like 1800s would just go out and be like, wow, like fucking John Muir or Teddy Roosevelt would just like go out and look at the top of a mountain, look at all the trees and clouds, and be like, wow, this is so fucking beautiful,
S tier.
dude. I was gonna say, this is like I think like a fundamental human experience. Like every human should try to appreciate nature
Mm-hmm.
every once in a while in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Something about the way your brain is wired. You got to do this every once in a while. It doesn't take that much investment. Literally everyone can
Yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
that's what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah.
it's like zero. Like there's zero hurdle to it. Like you just go.
In fact,
to
we
the
can go
place.
do it right now.
This doesn't count. Are you fucking
Okay,
kidding
no,
me?
come and appreciate this with me. Whoa, this is so.
No, this is no.
well,
No,
I can
this doesn't
appreciate
count.
the photography and the wonderful
No, go outside.
landscape. It's not
Go
quite
outside.
being
Alright, fine.
immersed.
Well, let's appreciate nature.
Let's open that window.
Wow, this is so
Yeah,
beautiful.
Wow.
pitch black above the night.
Wow, is
Wow.
that like playing outside?
Thanks. That was really good.
Damn, that shit was S tier. similar to appreciating nature. Our next item is pornography. What do you think?
I think like post nut clarity really like drags it down by quite a few tiers.
In the moment, you're like, wow, this feels so good. And then afterwards, you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
I feel like it's F tier. In the long term, it kind of like it doesn't really provide much. It's kind of like you watch it, it's stimulating, but at the same time, do you really get much out of it besides like I guess?
Yeah, I think it's
sexual-
equivalent to doing nothing. Do you think it actively harms yourself? That's my question. I don't think I'll put it above D tier.
Well, I think it depends on the person, like your perspective on sex. Like
I guess like to kind of stretch this a little, if you and your partner like exploring your kinks or whatever, or like using pornography as like more of like a tool for like self-expression, like like I don't know, what if you're like bi-curious and you just like what's it like to be like with another man, and you watch like romantic porn of like a gay couple and you're like, wow, this is nice, or you're gonna be like, no, this isn't for me, then you can use it to like as a way to kind of explore yourself.
Okay,
that way.
I kind of agree. Like it's like it's an avenue to engage with like your sexuality and like the sexual experience. It's like a common like connecting point between all humans. So I think that there is merit.
That's
Yes.
if you choose to engage with it that way, which is going to
Yeah.
be a common theme for a lot of these going forward. But 99.999% of people do not. If I had to guess, there's like
I mean,
sex
I would-
positive porn out there, but I'm pretty sure that shit has like 0 views.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't think it's actively harming you.
Yeah. Okay. Teacher. Pornography and doing work is the same.
Okay. You know what? That's not even a hot take. I totally agree with that. Next one is shopping. Like going out and purchasing stuff. Like
F
people
tier.
actually do this as a hobby, not the act of owning the things or using the things they buy, but they like just buying things.
This is an F tier.
Yeah, this one fucking sucks. I kind of.
Like the return on investment of like you of like the amount of time you spent entertained or like being fulfilled to like the amount of money and time you have to waste doing this is like way too high. F tier.
No objections. Yeah.
I guess, yeah. I think it's pretty bad. Like, in my article I read about, like, the Nash's Pyramid of Leisure, it also talked about other things like affluenza, like this idea of spending, like, people treating it as a shortcut to, like, happiness when it's, like, doesn't really work.
Oh yeah, I guess the context for the podcast listeners, if there is any, is that this tier list is inspired by Nash's Pyramid of Leisure, but we're not categorizing it in the same way as Nash did. We're categorizing these based on how fulfilling they would be to get into, but Nash categorized them based on vibes. Like he categorized them based on like how they benefit you and your community and how fulfilling they are, I think.
Yeah.
But we're also including vibes. Speaking of which, okay, I think this next one has very middling vibes. Exercising. Not playing sports. I'm saying things just like going to the gym for the sake of fitness, not for like competition or for like camaraderie or anything like that. I think exercising, it's really good for you. It's so boring.
I think we should split like running or like cardio from the rest of exercise.
Okay, from like
'Cause I
strength
think-
training.
Yeah.
Really?
Why?
I actually think like cardio is like pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to explain yourself.
That's not what I thought, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's like
I thought you would say cardio's ass. That's what I thought you were gonna say.
what?
I know many people who hate running and love weightlifting.
Okay. I think it's like you're like doing like this one thing over and over again. It's like very like meditative. Like you can like you're like in your thoughts, and then like
True.
it's like you don't have to like engage with like the world like very actively. I think like with weightlifting, you have to like it's like proper form. But, like you're running, it's like a very like natural like movement.
Yeah,
it's
about running, I think it's like one of those things that's like very intrinsic to human behavior. Like literally everyone can, and well, not literally everyone, but like you know what I mean. Like humans are built to run. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need to go anywhere. Just step outside, put your damn shoes on, and start running. And anyone can do it at pretty much any time. I think that's good, but so it's a great way to get exercise if you need it, which we all do. But I think the actual running is like really boring.
Really, I feel like it's like a really like nice way to like just have it be in your thoughts, and then like, you know, it's like a good way. It's also like a nice way to like set challenges for yourself. It's like, oh yeah, I'm feeling good today. I'll try to like run for extra few minutes, or like, I'll try to like get this like time or something.
You don't think weightlifting is like that, or like just strength training in general, like doing push-ups? I feel like they're kind of the same in that regard.
Okay, in that regard, yeah, I guess so.
I can't deny exercise is good for you though.
Yeah.
Like I'll definitely put it in like B tier or something. What do you guys think?
Yeah, sure. I enjoy running more than weightlifting.
Lucky you.
I have not tried weightlifting, but I do enjoy running.
Yeah.
I mean, weightlifting is like, it's exactly what it sounds like. Like, just imagine carrying something really heavy and doing it that like 5 times in a row. Like, that's literally
Yeah,
it.
and
Like,
like you repeat it with like proper form and stuff.
yeah, like 5 times. And then, all right, next muscle, just, all right, next one.
I think it'd be like more for cardio because like I feel like rock climbing like kind of fits into that.
You mean cardio? If it's
Cardio.
more like cardio? Rock climbing, it depends on what kind of climb you're doing, I guess.
Okay.
But rock climbing is I'm yeah, not super enthusiastic about it. We can get to that later.
Okay.
The next one is writing. Writing, I guess.
But you said casual
Oh,
conversation.
I did. Sorry. Next one is casual conversation. This one's gotta be S tier. I love having casual conversations, and I feel like you kind of like appreciating nature. Okay, this is what makes this S tier. Everyone can do it, and everyone should do this, like often in their lives. I think your life is literally like less bright. Why do you keep like shifting on this box?
I don't know.
Your life is literally less happy and joyful if you don't have like casual conversations with your loved ones often. What do you guys think?
I think that there is like some difficulty in casual conversation in the sense that like different people have like different amounts of social batteries, and as someone who like sometimes has like some misanthropic like moments in life, you know, it's like sometimes like I just don't want to talk to someone, and then like, you know, it's like hard to find people who are like the same like wavelength of like amount of social engagement as you do, and then like when they talk to you and you don't want to talk to them, you know.
Yeah,
It's
I guess
kinda
like
fucking annoying.
it's different when you're the object of someone else's casual conversation.
Yeah.
Like almost all these leisure ones, these are almost all things you can do by yourself, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the casual conversation one, you gotta find someone else. So that is kind of a barrier, a little bit. But I mean, come on, like if you don't want to conversate, just don't conversate. What else can I say? Just turn it down politely. Just say like, I'm busy. I need to go return my videotapes or something.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you put it?
A.
I think it's S. You gotta be the tiebreaker, Willie.
Like, wait, you mentioned like talking with like your loved ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what about like this a social conversation applying to like other people who are like not your loved ones?
Oh, yeah, that counts too. Like if you have a casual conversation with a stranger.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I would consider that I think sometimes it can be fulfilling, but other times it could be like not so fulfilling, like small talk. It's just like,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I just think like the good conversations are so good.
That's true.
A lot of them are pretty middling though. Writing as in writing critiques, nonfiction, writing novels, writing plays, writing essays, thought pieces.
S tier.
Yeah, I think writing is amazing.
I
as
think
well.
language is like a universal. I guess like most people. I guess like as a first world person, like literacy, writing is, feels like a very like universal aspect of daily life, and it's like a very like common way that like all people can like express themselves with. And I feel
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Writing is like the foundation of human civilization, you know? Like,
yeah,
humans went from individuals and societies to civilizations because they started putting their brains onto tablets and scrolls and paper and stuff like that.
yeah,
Like, if you can just contribute something to the world, the easiest way to do that is to just put some thoughts from your brain onto like a document somewhere.
yeah.
Whether that be like artistic thoughts or recording some nonfiction or your opinion about something or anything like that.
Yeah, you just write a diary about like some random daily life or what you saw on Reddit the other day, and then like some historian like 2,000 years later, when like this world like ends because of like World War III
Yeah.
or something, they'll find it and then they'll like use it as a primary.
It's
source.
like the easiest way to make your experiences tangible is to just write it down.
That's true.
Also, it's a very good way to like track your ideas and like think of like your own ideas and your own opinions on the world.
Okay, but this next one is probably not going to be S tier. Gambling.
I think that's the F tier.
Yeah, this one's F tier.
Right next to shopping.
This is not to say they're both equally as bad, but they're definitely both detrimental to you.
Yeah.
I don't think much more needs to be said.
Okay.
Same with substance abuse.
Yeah, that's a pretty F tier.
Yeah, this one's also pretty bad. You know, like some people will say, like, you know, like certain substances aren't too harmful, which yeah, that's fair. But even then, I don't think many substances can be above D tier. As in, like, even the substances that aren't harmful are like equivalent to kind of doing nothing.
Thing is, we definitely specified abuse, so it makes it
Yeah.
like especially worse.
Okay, this next one is crime.
You know.
Yeah, I don't know if crime is F tier. I'll be honest. Crime might be a little higher than F tier. Crime can be fulfilling. It can be fun. You know, maybe you're committing crime to support your family. You know, that can be like really not maybe not fulfilling, but it'd be like
I
a
don't know
good
if
cause.
I don't know if that's leisure anymore though.
Okay, yeah,
it depends
that's
on like the scale and like
Yeah.
what you do.
okay. What if it's like, oh, I robbed like a cashier for $1,000 and I used it to like buy a Nintendo Switch or something like that.
Yeah.
That's leisure, right?
Yeah.
And that was like very rewarding on your part for committing crime.
No, I was like,
Well, it depends on the fun, right? If
Yeah.
it's like it's stressful, it's not like so rewarding.
No, I was thinking like, like some laws are just like stupid and like, breaking them is like should be totally fine. Like, back in the prohibition days, like, like the existence of like speakeasies and like, you go to the speakeasies to like drink alcohol. And I think like, like that's like a very like that's like also like a social gathering aspect, but you're also like committing a crime.
Yeah, I guess it kind of depends on what the crime is.
Yeah, it
Like-
depends on the crime.
So I guess like a crime that doesn't have so much, I guess, victims in it, but more so like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, it could have victims, like, what if it's like
Yeah,
like
like,
righteous like social revolution and like you're trying to like
Change the
upheave
world.
society.
Oh,
as-
that's not what
through
I was thinking.
leisure.
I was thinking of like
okay.
vandalism. Like if you're like a graffiti artist, like
Oh yeah,
tagging
oh yeah,
walls and
yeah.
stuff.
I think graffiti is like pretty cool and like
Yeah.
it's like a way to like engage with like society, and it's like to like try to like make your mark and like put like your opinions out there. Yeah, I think it's really cool.
I would put this in it depends on the crime. Right? Like, because
Yeah.
different crimes is like different.
Yeah. Okay. I guess part 2 of this podcast, like the next time we record,
Yeah, we'll
is
go
a-
into every
it's
crime.
a crime
Crime
tier
tier
list.
Okay, traveling as a tourist. Like visiting the Leaning Tower and the Great Wall and, you know. This can be pretty, it's very expensive.
Yeah, I
But-
think it's like very like expensive.
It's
which
definitely
is,
for like
lower,
affluent
so,
people.
yeah.
But I think it's pretty good. I honestly, my problem with traveling is a lot of time, like going to places and staying there for like a week can be pretty superficial, especially if you just visit a lot of touristy places.
Yeah,
But it's definitely better than doing nothing. I think you still gain stuff out of like
Mhm.
visiting touristy places.
Yeah.
Just like experiencing new things and being in different places. Like, people are often surprised by going to foreign countries, even if they're just living in a hotel and visiting museums and restaurants.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's as good as some of this other stuff. I
Yeah.
don't think it's as good as like coding, for instance.
Yeah, I feel like traveling, like especially like a foreign country, or like maybe some like historical site. You know, it's sort of like the civilization appreciating nature. You know, it's like one
Mhm.
step down. You know, like instead of like appreciating like nature in the world, you're appreciating like the accomplishments of
Yeah,
like
cultures and stuff.
civilization. Yeah, you know. Yeah. It's pretty good. It's really expensive.
It's
I think
decent.
expensive is like the main prohibiting factor.
I put like B tier.
Yeah, beacher sounds good.
I think that's fair.
Next one is partying. If only Brendan was here.
Party.
Unfortunate.
I'm not a party enjoyer.
Oh, I guess like since next podcast you're not gonna be here. You're missing out on the crime tier list. Kyle.
I don't
know.
think any of us are big partiers.
Yeah.
Between the three of us.
Yeah.
It can be fun if you're into it. I don't think it's very fulfilling.
I think it's an active detriment for me because I feel like I get more misanthropic when I see these people partying and I have to like be here.
Yeah, if you have to be at a party that you don't want to be at, it can be pretty bad.
Yeah, it just makes you like hate people.
But I think it's better than doing nothing, but worse than anything that's like fulfilling, I guess. Like, you don't get any progress at a party. You're not like working towards anything. Like, and you don't gain. I guess you can gain lasting experiences at a partying. You know, like, what if you like meet your like future spouse at a party, or like what
I
if you make a
guess.
lifelong friend at a party or
I
something?
guess.
Building
Yeah.
connection.
Okay. I think like for potential, it can go higher.
Like, you can
Mhm.
maybe like 20 years later you can be like, oh, I remember that one time that our buddy Ryan beat his leg at a party, and everyone's gonna remember like, oh, those are good times. Like, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I feel like C. Yeah.
Okay.
See.
Okay. Family gatherings.
Those are the family gathering.
Depends.
Depends on the family. Yeah, I kind of agree. You don't really get to choose your family, so your family can be pretty bad
Yeah.
if you did not roll the dice properly. I put this down as fan gatherings, quote unquote, but Ryan said it was like
Concerts and like
conventions. And I guess anything else where like a bunch of people who are interested in the same thing get together for like a big event.
I guess like meet and greets or like author like signings or something like that.
those will count too.
Yeah.
These are. I feel
Pretty
like
cool.
going to one of them kind of necessitates your interest in like a different leisure activity, right? Like you
Yeah.
have to be into a band to go to their concert. You have to
Yeah.
be like into a franchise to go to their convention.
Yeah. Also, I know we just said like partying sucks, but like, like this is like partying like plus, like it's like you're partying, but with like people who like share your or already have like a common interest with you.
Yeah,
You're like
Yeah.
selecting for like the people you will like at a party.
that is true.
Yeah.
But I still don't think it's necessarily very fulfilling. It's just like it's like
Okay.
a fun thing you do in your off time every once in a while, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I've enjoyed like the conventions and concerts I've been to,
Hmm.
but it's not something that you would just do like all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Like C tier.
Okay.
Watching TV and movies. So this is like going back to the Nash Pyramid, where you're not an active participant in anything like this. I guess I'd put like plays and musicals and not concerts like going to a rock band, but concerts like watching the fucking symphony perform or the orchestra perform. Like, I think if you have a deep appreciation for the arts,
Yeah.
this can be like really fulfilling. But again, there's not like anything you're working towards. Like you're not gonna get better at watching movies, but you can definitely be inspired by watching a good movie.
Yeah, you can be inspired and like. I guess like it's like it depends on the movie and it depends on like your willingness to engage with and like be critical of the movie and its themes and ideas.
Honestly,
I guess like most people wouldn't. So I guess like as like the common person, it would probably be like D, like it's a 0. Like it's just you just spend time.
yeah.
Wait, what do you mean by like not better like as learning to watch the movie or
What? So, yeah.
you said something like watching like shows or like TVs like it doesn't help you to like better I guess watch the
Oh yeah, like if you're exercising, you can continuously improve at exercising, right? Like run faster and lift more weights or whatever. If you're coding, you can refine your skill at coding.
Mm-hmm.
If you're writing, you can like write more eloquent prose or like better grammar structure or whatever. But if you're watching movies, you're not going to like gain skill by doing that.
I don't fully agree with that because I think like because like all movies are like built like I guess like all forms of entertainment are like built on like the tropes and like conventions.
Yeah. I guess you
So,
get like media literacy. Like you
yeah,
understand a movie in its context better.
Yeah.
Like, you know that meme that's like, oh, dude who's only watched Boss Baby watches another movie. This is just like Boss Baby, you know? Like,
Yeah.
dude, I've had so many friends who like have little exposure to context, and then when they see a trope, they're like, wow, this is just like Avengers Endgame or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I hear someone say that, I'm like, damn, you really have not watched like any movies. So I guess in that regard, that does give it some like skill progression. Like you do gain something that's lasting from watching movies if you choose to engage with them.
Honestly, I think I might put it like a bit higher because like not just because of that, but it's for like the potential because like I feel like watching movies or TV like maybe you just like watch that like one movie and that's like the life-changing movie, you know. It's like you're exposed to things like at your like most vulnerable and like relaxed and like sometimes it just like hits you. And I think like there is like that like sense like that like movies I think like it like pretty often like just like emotionally hit you in some way that's not expected.
Like you go to Tish, you probably know like so many like cinema nerds, right?
Yeah.
Like they know about like the Akira Kurosawa or the fucking like Martin Scorsese or whatever, and they can talk about movies for hours. To me, like if something can make someone go into it that deep, then it's probably pretty worthwhile to some regard. So where'd you put it?
Yeah, I was saying that it's like making like it's like you make someone like cry or like you watch some like random movie and like it change like change the way your life or like how or like what you want to do with your life or something.
Where'd you put it?
I guess C, because like that's like potential, but like I assume like most people it doesn't happen. But like at least they like cry or something. No.
Okay, I think we can say almost the exact same thing about listening to music. It's literally the same thing.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Oh, this C tier is getting fat. Reading. I guess this is very vague.
Is it like it's like reading a novel or like reading nonfiction?
For entertainment and not separate from like learning stuff.
No.
I guess that's kind of the same.
I think there's like a.
It's at least C tier. But
I
honestly,
above C tier.
You think reading is better than listening to? It's less passive, right?
It's less passive. You have to like flip the page. I think
like,
it's different.
Yeah, the book doesn't go unless your
ebook.
brain does, right?
Yeah, and it's like, and I think like different from like music or watching TV. It's like it's very like imaginative because like words are like fundamentally like, very abstract and like.
That's true. You have to like exercise like your mind.
Your like imagination, and like you have to like think, and like it's like you have to like think and like imagine. And I think like that like sort of like activity, plus the fact that you have to like actively like turn pages is like a lot more like high in the engagement meter.
You make a good case. Yeah, then in that case I would agree because I do listen to music passively a lot, and then I know people will like just turn the TV on in the background or like kind of zone out while they're watching TV.
It's obviously different from like ebooks. I think ebooks is like probably E tier or C tier.
You mean like audiobooks or like?
Audiobooks, yeah.
Yeah.
Audiobooks, not ebooks. Sorry.
Okay, then where'd you put it? Like B?
B for reading. And then you put like audio books if you want for C.
B for
Audiobooks.
reading?
F tier. Audiobooks.
I said C. I said C.
Actively bad for you.
I guess you're like robbing yourself of the ability to read a book. I don't know. Anyway.
Okay, now these top 4 categories are the ones that we can break into subcategories because I think they're most general. I can spend the longest on. Art, as in creating art, not consuming art. Creating art.
S tier. S tier.
I think it has the same problem as coding in that it's very hard to get into.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, fine. It's just like coding. S tier.
But
Or A
we
tier.
can break it down, okay? We
Yeah,
can break
yeah.
it down into like what do you want to say, like performing arts, like visual arts, like
I don't think they're that different though.
yeah, I don't think they are. I don't think they are.
Cause it's like when an artist it's like that's the like when you choose your medium, it's like that's the one thing that like either like inspired you or like you feel like you can like say the most things with, or like say what you want to say with.
Yeah, I don't think like a sculptor or a painter are like differently fulfilled by their medium. I think
Yeah.
they both care about it just as much. Art is pretty cool. I could never do it though. It's very hard.
I guess so.
It seems like very rewarding, but it's very hard.
I guess so. Okay. Yeah, A tier.
I don't know. Wait, you want to be a tiebreaker?
I'm not sure.
I mean, have you tried pursuing art? I know because Ryan is an art major, obviously, so he's done it a lot.
Art is S
To
tier
us,
in
we're
my
like normal
heart.
people. Like we're like people who would actually go pursue art as just leisure, whereas Ryan is like someone who has done art for school and not just for leisure, right?
Art is S tier in my heart.
So I guess what I have done is I've done like casual drawing where I drew more for fun, and I've also done, I guess, drawing to improve, which is like draw a box.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that the aspect of learning can be like a not so fulfilling thing because it's like it's not exactly doing what you want to do. Like it could be part of your goal to like improve, but the process isn't always.
Yeah, you could be like,
fulfilling.
yeah, I want to draw like my favorite artist, but then like you start by drawing fucking spheres for like 10 hours or something like that. And you're like, damn, this shit is boring. Like,
It's like when you break past that barrier, it's like you see the world like differently. It's like you think about like how like everything is like can be expressed through
I think
art.
art
It's, like,
has crazy potential. Obviously,
yeah.
it's definitely one of the best things you can pursue, but it's just very hard to pursue it. I would put it.
It's like I have a joke with my like 3D modeling friends where it's like look that like brick texture on that wall, and then like we talk about how we like actually like, make the brick texture.
You're a fucking nerd.
Okay, fine.
But that is cool though. I'm not
Okay.
gonna lie. I think that is cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I think the issue is just like this barrier of entry is like you have to get over that hill to finally, I guess.
You have to do the
Enjoy.
boring part first.
Okay.
Just like sports. Sports. I think if we had like a tiers in between, like A plus, A minus, B plus, B minus, it's better than exercise, not for sport, obviously, but I think it's not as cool as art or coding or learning.
I think
stuff.
sports has like the problem where like you need to find an opponent to like, I guess like compete and compare yourself against to like engage with. And I think
Yeah.
like if you find like your rival who like grows at the same rate as you and like it like always gives you like a good match, and it's probably
Or
like,
if you enter
maybe-
like a league that has like, you know, like a league and a B league, and you can find like people of equal skill. That's cool.
Yeah, I think that makes it a lot better, but like obviously that doesn't always happen, and like there's like a like organizational hurdle to that.
I think, as well as like a casual enjoyer of sports, it always baffled me how much like average people will play sports. You know, like
Yeah.
literally like normal people, normies, okay, will just like, oh, let's go play tennis on a Saturday afternoon, unprompted. Like, let's just go play. That always baffled me, especially if they're not like grinding the sport. If you're grinding the sport, I understand that.
Why?
Because if you're not trying to improve at the sport, it's not that fun. Am I wrong?
Yes, I don't know.
Depends,
I feel
though.
like
It's about what you want to get out of it. Like, some people are like the tryhards. Like, they will want to improve, but there are also people who just do it like as like an excuse to do other things. Like, oh, if I'm doing sports, like, I don't really like it so much. It's like more so like you socializing with others.
Yeah. It's that second part that always confused me, because like I have some friends who just like will invite me out, like, oh, let's go play, spike ball or soccer or tennis or whatever, and then especially among us casuals, because we don't know how to play the sport very well, we're just like fucking, if you're playing ping pong, just like missing the ball entirely, like hitting the net all the time, you're like, oh, whatever, this sucks. Like when I'm doing that, I'm just confused, because I'm like, how is this any better than just like talking or sitting down? Because I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm not trying to improve. Like, I'm just mindlessly like swinging my racket at the ball and hitting the net, and like it doesn't feel like I'm getting anywhere with this. You know what I mean?
I don't know. As someone who does play ping pong casually in my major for fun and leisure, with no one who like has seriously engages with like ping pong as like competition or like to improve, I don't know. I like it. It's like fun to like move your body, and in like a social situation, and it's also like, I don't know. It's like it's like aesthetically, like you like the act of like making a rally while you're like having a conversation back and forth is like so nice.
That's if you can make a rally though.
Yeah,
right?
I guess so.
I mean, like, I think if you're not into sports and you're not trying to get better at sports, it just kind of becomes like filler, you know what I mean?
I guess.
Like, we were talking about bowling earlier before we started recording this. It's like you're just talking, and every once in a while you happen to have to roll a ball down the aisle, and then it's back to talking. Like, that's just how it is. Like, I don't find that any more entertaining than like having a casual conversation, and then every 1 minute someone has to do like a random handstand or something. Like, that's how it feels to me.
I guess.
I think part of what makes sports like enjoyable is like this engagement. Like, you're interacting with people, but you don't have to necessarily like speak, but at the same time it's kind
That's
of
very true.
unspoken that you are just like doing something together. It's like building camaraderie in a way.
That's very true. I think one thing that I fail to appreciate about sports is like it's just a good excuse to get with people, right? Like, it's necessarily social. You need to have other people with you, and that leads you to interact with people and stuff. So where'd you guys put it?
Honestly, I feel like it's more fulfilling than exercise, but it's also like it has like a bigger hurdle, right? So
Yeah. I would put it like A tier. If they were like sub tiers, it would be below coding and art, I think.
I feel like I put it B because like it'd be below casual conversation too.
What do you think, Lily?
Probably A.
Okay.
It's like low A. It's like A minus or like B plus. Nothing. Next item is doing nothing, as in just like sitting there and doing nothing.
Like
No,
mindful?
not like mindfully. You're not like focusing on your breathing or something. You're just like sitting there and doing whatever your mind does while you're sitting there.
Does it like mind wander, or are you just not allowed to think?
If your mind wanders, then it wanders. Like whatever happens. Imagine that you were like in a fucking padded cell, fucking straitjacket. The walls are just white and the lights are on all the time. Like, that's just what it is. Like, just nothing. If you want to try and meditate, you can. If your mind wanders, then it wanders. That's what this zone is.
I think like C. I think like doing nothing is like the appetizer of leisure. It's like
Well spoken.
yeah,
Very nice.
it's like it's not like filling, but like it's like a starter to like start to do something else. It's like you think, and it's like, what am I doing with my life? You get bored. You start like You just like start meditating. You like look at some of the paint on the wall, and sometimes you have like a crisis, or like you like build up a bit more motivation to like actually do something, and then afterwards, you do it. You know, it doesn't like take up social energy, so like it's like the time you spend to like recharge it, or like to like bring your focus by like letting your mind like wander and like burn out all that like wandering, and then afterwards you can do something later. It's like an appetizer.
You and Veritasium would have a great conversation. I think you
I'm
two
not
have
saying
much
that
in
you
common.
get like more altruistic when your mind wanders. I just think that like after that thing, like I think like boredom is like a necessary like starter to like doing something else, you know.
Yeah, I think you make a good case. I was gonna say doing nothing is D tier, but I think it actually might be better than D tier now that you mention it. Now that you say it like that.
Yeah, I think you could go in C tier. The catalyst for other activities, leisure.
Okay, this last one, we can break it down if you want. Games, not just video games, but also like chess. I guess sports are also a type of game, but like chess is a game. Like geocaching, I guess, is a game. Like. I'll put this in S tier. If it was just games, I'd put it in S tier. If you want to break it down, we can break it down.
I think even if we break it down, it'd be, this is like my admission of bias right now. As a game design major, someone who makes games, I think games are like S tier, you know, like of like the fundamental like activity of leisure, you know, play is like definitely like up there as like one of them, you know. It's like, you know, setting up like artificial rules in society, you know, like setting up like these are artificial rules to, like play and engage in with like by yourself or other people, you know, very like fundamental part of like human nature, you know, like a microcosm of society.
Dude, games are literally everything. Like, you can literally do anything in some given game. I feel like if you want to, like, relax, there's relaxing games. You want to compete, there's competitive games. You want to be social, there's social games. You want to express yourself, there's games where you can do that. You know, like you could literally do anything you want through a game. If you can play games, if you're into playing games, like, you can meet other people through playing games. You can learn stuff about yourself, be inspired by playing games. It's just everything. Like, I don't know why it would not be S tier. This is like S tier. I'm also biased.
Okay, Willie, as the most objective person here.
Objective?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. I think it'd be fine in S tier. I think it is a pretty good meaning.
Alright.
but-
What's our completely unbiased and critical opinion, sourced from 3 experts of games?
And
Dude.
there we go. S tier gaming.
Games, I'm like living proof of the power of games as a leisure activity. That shit has done so much for me. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. Way more than traveling or doing nothing. Well, that's the tier list. Are you gonna remind people to like and subscribe? Ryan?
Oh yeah. Let me like and sorry. Remember to like and subscribe to our podcast and Kyle's channel to get updates whenever we post them. We don't post them often, so you should like and subscribe and turn on that bell notification to make sure that you get those updates when we do inevitably push those updates. Also, remember to subscribe to our Patreon if we have that. And okay, now we're gonna thank our patrons.
Smash that like button. Smash that like button.
Thanks to